God bless you all who is watching this video now. It's 6 in the morning. I don't anticipate anybody's going to be up, but man, I just got off, worked another 12.5-hour shift. So I said, you know what, man, go ahead and say what's on top of my mind. I haven't did, vlogging videos in a minute. I said, today is going to be this video right here, man. I'll tell you all the shit that's going down in this world, with job shortages, times of war, times of crisis, the way that people treat each other on the internet, for the most part, is kind of disgusting. Not gonna lie to you. I'm a firm believer of this, is that, and I'll go ahead and quote the famous Andrew Show. I haven't really watched his videos in a while, but one thing he said kind of resonated and stuck with me a long time ago is he said, you get back what you put into this world. And I never really understood that concept till probably maybe about a year or two ago, about 2 years ago. I finally understood the concept of the meaning of the term of that. I get it that, we live on this whole internet world, internet society, and so people can kind of act juvenile based on the fact that they can go online and hit the record button and treat people like shit. And I'm not going to sit here and preach to the choir and say, you know what, I'm perfect. Because God knows I'm not. But I can tell you this, man. The way you treat people is what matters the most. And, the old saying goes, you get back what you put in this world. So if you're always in a bad mood, or, you have a bad attitude in life, then, things, then be expecting that to be in return based on the product that you're putting out. The way that you're acting, the way you conduct yourself, the way that you behave around others. It means, it says a lot about you. So when I go on the internet and I see these little clicks and stuff, and I see people, all attacking each other and stuff, I'm like, you're basically putting into this world, you're getting back exactly what you get. You get back what you put in this world. And that's facts. I was getting off from work and I talked to a coworker of mine, and he was like, Rose, man, I like you a lot, man. I didn't say anything. I said, okay, that's pretty cool, man. He said, man, you always work. I like the way you work. Positive energy. You encourage others, stuff like this. And I'm like, I'm not perfect. He's like, well, none of us are. But, you're just energy level. You're always coming to work. You're working all this overtime. He said something like, you're always, encouraging others to do better and helping out and stuff. And I really appreciate that. And he's just a regular employee. He's not a supervisor. He's not a manager. Just a regular person. And it was kind of I'm not like to toot my own horn. It's not the first time I've been told this, but it kind of feels good to get that, I guess, that reassurance, because sometimes you feel like your coworkers or your friends don't really have your back. Sometimes you get like that. Those days happen. And so he told me that, and it was kind of encouraging and kind of inspired me to make a video. There's this new guy that just got hired, and I've been helping him a lot on his shift. And he'll call me from another tank, and he'll say, hey, so what am I supposed to do in this situation and stuff? And I've just kind of been telling him, look, I'm not a trainer. I'm not a supervisor. I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to portray myself as one. But to help a fellow coworker out and just to be a decent human being, I just said, you know what, I'll do it just to be nice, just to be generous. So I helped him out. I've been helping him, along the way. And I don't know everything, by the way. I'm not a genius. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I know every little thing and stuff. But at the same time, I just, I'm helping him out. And I'm not, not that, I'm looking for extra pay or anything. It's just, I'm doing it just to be nice. If that makes sense. Because I remember when I was at a place where I didn't have any help and I was going around asking help, and people were just like, no, fuck it, you learn on your own. I'm not helping you, blah, blah, blah. And there was always like one or two people. There's always like one or two people that, will help you out. And then the rest of them are just kind of like, nah, man, I'm not helping you and stuff. Just saying. I'm a firm believer that you get back what you put in this world. So if you're a negative person, you got a bad attitude, you don't help others out, you're selfish and stuff, that's fine. You can do that. I'm just telling you, the results of that is going to be what? You're going to get back exactly that. I'm a firm believer of that. And I'm not saying, hey, open your bank account up and let everybody just indulge. But, at the same time, you want to have a little bit of empathy and compassion and be more considerate for others, because in the long run, it tells a lot about your character. And, at the end of the day, it helps out a lot. Firm believer of that, man. It's really encouraging when other people see that you're going out of your way to do things, not because you're looking for a paycheck or a raise or, I'm looking for extra money. It's like, no, you're doing it because it's out of the kindness of your heart. That's what matters the most. And I think a lot of people tend to forget that. This is something as little as listening helps a lot too. If people are going through problems, or let's say, in my profession, you see people at their lowest. So you want to hear, they'll tell you about their problems at home. And I'm like, I'm not a counselor, but at the same time, I just the human element kicks in. And I just say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and listen, just listen and hear what they have to say and then go from there. And anyways, they'll say, Rose, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me, listen to my problems. I mean, I'm not saying I'll have a solution, but just to kind of hear them out, I can hear them vent. It really helps ease the tension, if that makes sense. So it eases the tension, and people are like, I really enjoy this conversation I had with you and stuff. So people kind of pick up on that. They kind of pick up on those energy levels. So just saying, I'm not saying that you have to be this super friendly person and just, I got to be friends with everybody, but it's just sometimes you got to show that there is a human element to you. That there is a there's a human element to you. You got to show that. I think that's what's missing in the world today. Is I think people are too selfish. I think for a lot of the parts, I think, we're seeing the sort of ugly side of people. And especially when it comes to like via the internet. The internet, in my opinion, is probably the worst. Because people can act juvenile, hit the record button, kind of act a fool, act a clown, whatever you want to call it. So people, sort of take, sort of your opportunity to be a kid again, if that makes sense. So for me personally, I just say I want to use my channel as a way to inspire others, as opposed to tearing them down. Most channels, or most people with content, social media wise, it's their criteria is about tearing others down, and I'm better than you, and look how much money I have, and look at all these cars I have. You don't have nothing, and you're a peasant. And I think that's a very ugly side to have about you. Even if, let's say, for the sake of argument, you did have those things. There's nothing wrong with having, there's nothing wrong with having money or having, valuable things, a nice car, a nice watch, or having, a wonderful life. There's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, you got to take into account that you should be more humble about it. Be more humble about it, if that sort of makes sense. And I think that people aren't humble enough and don't appreciate the finer things in life. Does that make sense? The finer things in life, to appreciate that. Yeah, how you treat people is what matters the most, because that's how you're going to be remembered. If you're a selfish individual and stuff, and you only think about yourself, well, that's how you're going to be remembered. And they're going to say, oh, this guy was fucking selfish. Why do I give a shit if he's still alive or not? Well, why do I care? You know what I'm saying? Well, why should I give a fuck? Why should I care if he's still alive, or he's still breathing, or she's still alive, or she's still breathing? You know why? Because that's how you put yourself out there, and people sense that, and they're like, oh shit, I don't want to deal with him or her. And so that's how you remember. Nothing is worse, I think, and this is just me personally, is you being on your deathbed and nobody comes to see you. Imagine how scary that sounds. Like, you being on your deathbed and nobody wants to come see you because you were a selfish individual. And if that's how you want to be remembered, power to you. Me personally, I wouldn't want to be remembered like that. I sure as hell wouldn't. That's just me personally. I mean, maybe I'm born on the wrong planet. I don't know. No, I'm not mad at all. I'm actually in a great mood. I'm actually in a blessed mood. I feel good, and I want to pass the words of wisdom out. What I'm implying is that you get back what you put into this world. So just remember that. Whoever this troll is in my comment section, who's probably got hundreds of thousands of sock accounts, just remember that. How you treat people, what you put in this world, is what you're going to get back. And just remember that. Just remember that. Take my advice, or take what I'm saying to heart. Not with a grain of salt, but with heart. I'm telling you, you get back what you put into this world, and it sticks. I'm trying to tell you, a lot of people don't grasp that concept. A lot of people, like I said, are very selfish, and it's not going to ruin my day, because at the end of the day, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? However you carry yourself, that's on you. I just know it's not going to be me. I'm personally not going to live by that motto. Like I said, and I'm not sitting here saying, oh, you have to break out your bank account and give everybody hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, it could be something as little as helping people out, listening, showing empathy, stuff like that, showing kindness, acts of kindness. It doesn't necessarily have to be from like a financial perspective, even though it doesn't, going the extra mile would be, buying someone lunch, stuff like that. That's, honestly the gift of giving. But sometimes it's a small thing to look past that, because a lot of the times you figure, well, why am I going to do something nice for you if I'm not getting anything in return? And you hear this a lot, especially like, let's say, for example, when you're donating something, right? You make a donation, right? And you say, okay, you go to Walmart, and they'll say, hey, would you donate us $1 minimum, or $2 or $3, and it feeds 3 starving kids in some other country? And then they'll say, okay, and then here's your hot dog, your soda. You can pick a soda out in your choice. Here's a hot dog with chili and cheese for your act of kindness. I'm like, wait a minute. From when I was growing up, it was always that you donated $1 or $2 or $3 or whatever, because it was the act of kindness. Now I feel like you're rewarding me for my act of kindness, and I shouldn't be rewarded based on my act of kindness. Your act of kindness should be something that's genuine from within, not rewarded. So it seems like, so you're almost implying that the only reason why I did this was because I wanted that hot dog with chili and cheese and a canned Sprite or whatever, as opposed to me just doing this because I genuinely wanted to do that, because I felt it was the right thing to do. Some people, only want to do nice things when they're getting something off the back end. And unfortunately, that's where we're sort of at. It's like an act of entitlement. All right? So I was just using that as an analogy, like as an example. And I think that's the issue in this world. I think it's the finer things in life, the small things that count. I think that people sort of, what's the word I want to use? They sort of overlook those things. And it's always about, what are you doing for me? I'm not getting anything out of this. It's like, yeah, you're right, maybe so, but at least, you're doing this out of the act of kindness. Like me helping a coworker out today, or the last couple of days, helping him out learn about new things about the requirements that needs to be done, at a shift. I didn't have to do all that shit. I could say, wait a minute, I'm not getting paid to be a supervisor. I'm not helping him. I could have just easily hung up the phone, right? And I'm not helping you, but guess what? That's not me. I said, you know what? I'm going to help this guy out. So I helped him out, and no matter how many times he called me over, no matter how many times he told me to come help him, because he didn't understand this, I still did it out of the kindness of my heart. I didn't sit there and say, oh, no, I'm not helping you. There are some people that I work with that are like that. They're like, no, I'm not helping you. I remember when I was first hired and I was going through the training. And after training, I would say, damn, I forgot how to do this, or I don't know how to do this. So I would ask them, and they're like, oh, you didn't learn it? Oh, you didn't know it? Click. And then they'll say, I'm not helping you. Click. You figure it out on your damn own. Click. And then there's a couple of people that are like, hey, I don't mind helping you, Rose. What is going on? And so I look at it like this. I say, okay, so this is kind of my opportunity to give back, because I had a couple of people that went out of their way to explain to me how to do this job or how to do this task. And so I figure, well, it's only the right thing to do that I pass my knowledge on to someone else. It's just because, to me, it's just the right thing to do. I think that we need more people like that. And I think that's what the world is missing. It's missing, you understand? The world is missing these things, And it's unfortunate because, we can use that today. Especially, with the collapse of the dollar, we got war, we got famine, we got drought, right? We got, all these internet gurus and a lot of the juvenile stuff that they do online for attention and trying to get attention. And sometimes they just, people just miss out on the finer things of life, which is, one, glad to be alive, fortunate and blessed to be alive. Number two is that every day you wake up is a new day to succeed. Every day is a new day to live. Number three is to pick up interest in hobbies, and number four is to help others. And I think that, friends, family, people in your inner circle that, that you care and honestly cherish around you, you want to make sure that you're there for them in case in times where, if, you're ever in a hard place, you want to know that you can give that one person a phone call. And maybe this, might go on deaf ears, and most you're going to be like, oh, I don't give a fuck, and it's like, that's fine, I'm not saying you have to care. I'm saying it's just the right thing. Just do it because it's the kindness in your heart, if that makes any sense. I hope I'm making sense when I say this. I hope that you guys are listening, that you're not just, it's just in one ear and out the other, and you're just like, oh, I don't care, I don't really give a shit. I think most people today have a selfish mentality, and that's natural. The human element is to be selfish, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're taken care of, right? But at the same time, it doesn't hurt to show an act of kindness or to help maybe someone that's struggling, like, at your work or something, or whatever, so they need someone to listen to, chat it up with. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. And, I think that we need a little bit more of this into the world. I think that my issue, this is just me personally, is that I should have done this 10 years ago. Because I would have been well better off. Way better off. I think 10 times better off today. I think that, the act of kindness, I think, is what's missing in the world. Definitely what's missing in the world. So not to offend Miss Victoria. Don't know who that is. I have no clue. Have no fear. Underdog is here. It is early in the morning. It is almost 7 o'clock. And I just got off of work, so I feel good. Today was a beautiful day. Work went by easy. Blessed to be alive. Feels good today. It's a great feeling today. And to be fair, I hope the rest of you have a wonderful day. I hope you do. Because I sure as hell today I had a really good day. The time, and you know what? When you're more at peace with yourself, time goes by a lot easier. It goes by fast because, of course, time goes by fucking fast now. But time goes by a lot easier when you're at peace, finding your inner peace. And it's not always easy, but finding your inner peace, man, I'm telling you, it makes life a whole lot easier, a lot more stress-free. So just FYI, just thought that I would just throw that out there. I had me a Mountain Dew earlier. I feel good. I had me a Diet Zero Mountain Dew Baja Blast. I love Mountain Dew. You know what else I can go for right now? A country fried steak with gravy. Brown gravy, white gravy, don't matter. I like both. And a tad bit of ketchup on the side. Yes, I like my country fried steak with a little bit of ketchup. Just on the side. Just a little bit of ketchup on the side. Not too much, but just like a little tad bit to dip that bad boy in. It's like Kelly's Country Kitchen calling my name. I haven't been to Kelly's Country Kitchen in about 6 years. It's been a minute. I think it might have been longer than that. Holy shit. Has it really been that long since I've been to Kelly's Country Kitchen? Oh my God, it's been a minute. I haven't been to Kelly's Country Kitchen in a minute. But man, I love that country fried steak. Or the meatloaf. You get 2 sides with it. 2 big giant sides of green beans. You cannot go wrong. Today's a beautiful day, and I hope it remains that way. I hope it does. Today, my friends, is a beautiful day. Blessed to be alive. For the 5 of you watching, I hope you feel blessed to be alive, because today's a beautiful day. I mean, yeah, it's a little like, looks like it's kind of raining outside, or like it wants to rain, so it's a possibility it might rain. But yeah, I just feel blessed to be alive today. Today's a beautiful day. It's like I'm like mellow. You guys realize it's been 6 months since I had an energy drink? I gave that shit up 6 months ago, and boy, do I not. I feel so much better. No more energy drinks for me. I'm no longer drinking energy drinks ever again. Sure, I like to have a little coffee. Nothing wrong with that, half a cup or whatever. I didn't drink any coffee yesterday, but I can tell you this much. I stopped drinking energy drinks about 6 months ago. I never looked back ever since. I was up to like 2-3 energy drinks a day. Now, no more energy drinks for me. So I feel like a lot better since I gave up those Monster energy drinks. Especially when you're drinking 3 a day. Oh my God. That means you build up a tolerance. So you drink one, it doesn't give you that rush. So you got to drink a second one just to get the feeling of the first one. And that's how, it speeds up. And then I had 3 and I'm like, damn, now I can't even have energy drinks no more. I completely went cold turkey. Cold turkey. Just take what I say for the 2 of you watching. Take what I say to heart. I'm telling you, in this world, we need kindness. We do. So, anyways, I'm heading out of here, man. You guys take care, be safe, and have a blessed